Welcome to our video on the myth of startup success and the importance of execution. Many people believe that if you have determination, brilliance, great timing, and a great product, you can achieve fame and fortune. However, the reality is that ideas are not the most important factor in startup success. In fact, the average person has at least 20 great ideas that could potentially be turned into successful startups. The real key to success is execution. In his book, The Lean Startup, multi-successful entrepreneur Ries offers 5 pieces of advice for creating a successful business. The first is the build, measure, learn feedback loop. In traditional planning, there is a high risk of building something that no one wants. On the other hand, just doing it can lead to chaos. The build, measure, learn feedback loop allows startups to quickly go through cycles and figure out what customers want and are willing to pay for as quickly as possible. The second piece of advice is to approach everything as a grand experiment. Experiments allow startups to learn about their customers' needs and willingness to pay for a product. The key is to observe, rather than ask, and to validate or reject hypotheses through experimentation. This can be as simple as setting up a landing page and driving traffic to it, or developing a minimum viable product, MVP, to test with a smaller group of customers. The third piece of advice is to embrace validated learning. This means using experiments to learn about your customers and their needs, rather than relying on assumptions or traditional market research. It's important to focus on the metrics that matter, such as whether customers are willing to pay for your product and how much they are willing to pay. The fourth piece of advice is to seek out a growth model. Startups need to focus on growth in order to be successful, but not all growth is created equal. It's important to identify the right growth model for your business, whether it's linear, viral, or another model. The fifth and final piece of advice is to embrace entrepreneurship as a long-term learning process. Building a successful startup is a marathon, not a sprint. It's important to be willing to learn and adapt as you go along, rather than expecting to have all the answers from the start. By following these pieces of advice and focusing on execution, you can increase your chances of startup success. Thanks for watching.